Morning and welcome to Today in L.A. My name is Mike Amos. His name is Bill Rice Jr. And good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Mike.
Happy Phil Mickelson Day.
We're all fired up, and you know what we're going to be talking about for a while this morning. Really one of the sports stories of the decade and our long time, as far as I'm concerned, Mike.
I know this is going to say a lot, and a lot of people say, Mike, you can't, no way you can say this, but I don't know if I've ever seen one individual create such a racket on the golf course as Phil Mickelson did, and maybe the best performance I've ever seen an individual on TV.
Well, it was, he's almost 51 years old, and it was a terribly tough golf course, and it had the biggest field and the best field in golf. And who wins it? A guy that hadn't won a major in about 9 years, I think. Hadn't won he won a tournament in 2019, but it'd been a long time, and he really just came from out of nowhere. Mike, you know what the odds are you could have got on Phil Mickelson winning that tournament before the tournament?
All right, what?
300 to 1.
Oh, boy.
So if Bill Rice Jr. would have just simply put a $10 bet on Phil Mickelson to win the PGA, Bill Rice Jr. would have $3,000 this week.
Wasn't that unbelievable? That would have been unreal. And I tell you, he knows how to win, and he knows how to show his appreciation to the fans and all that. He's just a first-class individual. He acts like a little one of these guys that came out of the candy shop, but at the same time he's just a wonderful person. And,
there's a reason so many people like Phil. And I think it's because he smiles a lot, and he acknowledges the gallery. Yesterday he was doing this thumbs up over and over. But he's always been like that. I like him because you never hear him let loose with a profanity on the golf course or slam a club. He's very smart and articulate. He's a compelling sports story.
Yeah. And I hope a lot of people out there that even weren't golf fans enjoyed it like I did, but really got the felt the same way we did about the way he acted. Just first class guy, dignity. He was he can walk out there with more or less anybody on the golf course, but in that kind of situation with the two guys under him being great young golfers,
he beat them.
He wore them out. He did.
He's been good for such a long time too. I mean, they were talking on the telecast that he won his first professional tournament as an amateur in 1991. He was 20 years old.
That's right.
He played in his first professional tournament when he was 17 years old. And then for the longest time it was Phil Mickelson, the greatest golfer who's never won a major. I mean, it took, I think, until 2002 till he broke through and won the Masters, I think. And now he's got 6, which ties him with Lee Trevino and Nick Faldo for most majors in a career, 6 majors, and most of those majors he's won, past the age of 38. He's also finished second a lot more than 6 times, I think.
He took home a measly $2.16 million for his hard work, and
I guarantee you Phil is, besides Tiger, has made more money from his golf career than any other golfer in history. He's turned that brand into a marketing goldmine. I'm sure he makes a lot more money off the course than he makes on the course.
I'm sure he's real smart. Like that company he represents, that's one of the biggest financial institutions in the world. That People are asking, what does that mean across the top of the hat? Well, it means money. It means money.
Yeah.
Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing this morning?
Morning.
Good morning to you.
I don't know how much I can offer today.
You're spent. You're what? Where'd that word
I
spent
went
get?
to a 15, I guess an 18-hole boxing match yesterday. So many highs and lows and ups and downs, and I really thought when he hit the ball in the water on 13, after he was perfectly in the fairway, I was just like, here we go.
Yeah.
Here comes the choke. But
Yeah.
thank goodness Koepka couldn't putt, and Oosthuizen couldn't putt, and Mickelson just made so many clutch shots when he had to make them, with so many clutch putts when he had to make them. I mean, I can't tell you how happy I am what I watched yesterday. I think that's one of the greatest things I've ever watched in sports history yesterday.
Yeah, I said the same thing just a while ago, Mike, that this was I can't think of any one individual that has ever displayed the unbelievable
The one story
talent.
The one story that would have surpassed it that we talked about Friday was if Tom Watson had held on and won that British Open at age 59, where Stuart Sink beat him on in the playoff. I pulled just as hard for Tom Watson, harder really, because you talk about class people. Tom Watson is a class person.
You're right.
So I mean, Phil did this at age 50. Just think about Tom Watson almost doing it at age 60, but he didn't. I mean,
I tell you that by far, and I think everybody out there that saw it will admit, the aesthetics for this golf course, and it was unbelievable. The beauty and the aesthetic. If you love the beach, this is where you want to play golf. But
it kind of it makes you want to, if you want to retire somewhere, to consider the state of South Carolina, because they have lots of places like this, don't they?
Oh yeah, they got a lot of golf courses and everything. I know that in that one area.
It had to be like a British Open feel to it.
It did. Yeah.
Well, that's what they patterned it after. That's exactly what it was supposed to look like.
If any person, any artist, any photographer, anybody like that would like to get the best shot they've ever got in sports, take a picture of Phil Mickelson fixing to drive a golf ball, and that tree with all those people in it. Now, was that an unbelievable shot? It looked like
they're in a live oak tree, which I'm looking at in my yard right now.
That's right, and they were so plain, and each individual in that tree was so plain looking. It was the photography was unbelievable. But that was one of the great shots in sports to me.
Well, maybe Sports Illustrated or somebody got that picture.
What is laughable is they claimed there was only 10,000 people allowed to go to that tournament. Didn't that look like more than 10,000 people?
Well, if they were 10,000, they were all on the green at one time. I know that.
Oh, I didn't know that they even limited.
Mike, I don't know if I lost a little respect for your strong man. Yeah, he said they hurt my knee. He pushed me.
Yeah, the people hurt his knee and pushed him.
Did you hear him go? And I thought he was gonna cry. I really did. He hit me and I hurt my knee.
Koepka's a tough guy, and he doesn't have a great personality.
He does.
But you know how disappointing it is. He's 31. He's in his prime. Even though he's coming off a knee injury, he felt like he was going to be still at 50.
Yeah, you're right. He claimed it was the worst golf he's ever played.
He was awful putting.
Yeah.
My wife was nice enough. I mean, she knows how much I love watching Phil play. And she let me watch every hole on Saturday and Sunday. And I truly thank her, because that was 4.5 hours both days.
Your mama claimed that that I watched it.
Two little kids running around. It's pretty hard not to get distracted.
Your mama claimed that she gave me 7 hours on Sunday.
Oh yeah, well see, I was turning it off as soon as it was over. I wanted to go straight to the Golf Channel to watch the live coverage, but then I stayed up last night, probably 11:30, both nights till 11:30, rewatching.
I watched the Golf Channel until she came in there and just took it away from me. Shame on her for doing
that. Michael, you're a huge Phil Mickelson fan. Did you put $10 on Phil before the tournament?
300 to 1. No, I did not.
That's what. Why didn't we do that? If we could just go back in time for 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, he just felt like there was just no way he could put together 4 rounds. You know, he shot 64 at 12 Hollow a couple of weeks ago and led by 2, and then he ended up, I think, finishing 69.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, this is a guy that was playing the Champions Tour. You know, won his first 2 starts on the Champions Tour because, I mean, I think even to himself, he didn't think he could win anymore on the regular tour.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many guys that go low on a regular basis. It took a course like this, where there was wind and, you know, the ball was moving when you putt it. I mean, it took a guy with experience, a guy that, you know, had been there and done that. And I'm still in shock. I mean, I will be talking about this for 20 years from now. I'm sure everybody will be.
You know, the thing is that they were asking Phil certain things. He was actually giving them scientific terms for different things. I mean, he is knowledgeable. I didn't realize he was so knowledgeable about, you know, the air. He was talking about the air, you know, what and what kind of breeze he was going to be getting.
Oh, he's incredibly smart.
And, like I said, have you ever in your life seen a telecast that showed more air pockets? You know, all these things that could affect the ball. I mean, did you see the wind on the tees, the flags and everything?
Yeah.
And how hard that wind was blowing, and they were having to hit it into that wind.
Yeah, they got to play it into
the wind. It was a lot more to hitting the ball yesterday than any other time.
Some holes you play it into the wind, some holes you got the wind, some holes it's blowing sideways, and so you got to work the ball left to right or right to left into the wind is what they say you need to do.
And when he hit the ball 369 yards and drove everybody on the course, he was talking about he caught the wind. He was catching the wind, and he said, "I'll let it catch the wind." He said he used that kind of terms. I mean, that's scientific. I mean, the way he was acting, he knew what the winds were going to do and when they were going to do it and whatever. It was unreal.
And his brother is his caddy.
I can't believe after the tournament that his wife Amy, you know, who battled breast cancer, beautiful woman. I think she used to be a Phoenix Suns cheerleader. They've been married for several years. I cannot believe she wasn't there. I can't believe all his kids weren't there. It was basically his agent. Of course, his brother, Tim, is his caddy. And then, you know, his golf coach and some other people. Of course, a lot of players came out there to greet him as well. But I was shocked by that. It makes you wonder. I mean, he was so focused. And maybe he just didn't feel like he needed any distractions. You know, trying to win one at 50.
Now, he'd been married more than 7 years, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah, he's been married a long time.
Several
Oh, I thought you said. I was wondering. I misunderstood you.
I'm just saying that she always went to all his you know, matches, all the tournaments, you know, to be there at the end to give him a hug. I was just shocked to not see her.
I was very impressed with all the golfers that stood back and you know what I'm saying, didn't leave the course and went out to greet him after he won the thing. I was very impressed with that. You could tell. It was a certain amount of warmth among those. I mean, you could tell who his good friends were.
Well, it's good for the game of golf to have that storyline. You know, the storyline going in was...
Golf has been the greatest winner of them all after COVID hit.
You know, when that crowd, I'll tell you right now, there's been a lot of great moments, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about just headlines, great, you know, like the shot heard around the world when Bobby Thompson hit the home run against the Brooklyn Dodgers to win the World Series. You know, those type things. Well, that footage, when all those 10,000 people went down on the golf course and went around the green.
They were on the green.
On the green. And whatever,
I have never seen people that close to the green.
Did you notice that one guy liked to drag the field down? You know, he came. I mean, some guy. And it's one of the.
It's like Jim Nance said. It's almost like they lost control of the crowd. And
there's no doubt they lost control of the crowd. I mean, I'm sure some of these people that are still freaking out about COVID and everything about masks, and I'm sure they saw that yesterday. President Fauci and everybody, and probably they're going to be like talking negatively about it. But I mean, I don't know how do you control these people with the excitement? I would have been.
No, I think Phil was.
I would have been trying to get as close as I could to the ground.
How on earth did you think anybody could hit a golf ball on that?
From in the rough.
That's what I'm saying. Could hit a guy from the rough, but from the rough with 10,000 people hanging on him. I mean, it seemed like he loved it. It seemed like he liked that a lot.
Yeah, he said I watched his interview afterwards, and he said, it was slightly unnerving. That was a good character. He said, but I still appreciate it. I've never had that experience, so thank you for that. So
I don't
he
think
had the right attitude. That
other than Tiger, I don't think anybody's ever been treated that way like Phil was. And in fact, I don't think even Tiger was treated like this.
Tiger was when he won the Players' Championship about 2018 before he won the Masters. He had everybody in the gallery following him.
Tiger. You're right. Tiger went out on Instagram and congratulated. I saw that. Yeah. With a picture of them. He was really excited for him. I said, and sure, it's keeping him alive. He's not far from 50 now. What is he now?
Probably 45.
He's 45, 46.
I thought for sure for a while it was a no-brainer that he would equal or pass Jack Nicklaus's majors record, but now it'd be just almost an impossibility.
Want to mention, of course, we're going to be talking golf all morning. Look forward to hearing Will Matthews' comments because Streelman, his buddy, hung in there a long time. I was sort of rooting for Streelman. He's a good-looking golfer.
Well, he birdied the first two holes. He was right there at one time.
Yeah.
Mickelson kept on bogeying, kept on bogeying, and they kept on trading, the lead there for a while.
Yeah.
But one thing I found out about Mickelson, and he's in unbelievable physical shape. He does yoga and meditation, and but to lose weight, they said, what kind of foods did you give up? And this made national news. He fasts every week for 36 hours.
Yep, I saw that.
Really fast for 36
gosh.
Hours,
don't recommend that to anybody. Don't recommend it to anybody.
Help his body reconnect, help his brain, focus more. I mean, can you imagine he doesn't eat for 36 hours every week?
Well, I need to look into that myself. I got to find out something to keep this old brain working.
Yeah.
I mean, he can sell a lot of books. The product wanting to do whatever he's doing. He's in the best shape of his life.
Yeah. He's got, you can tell that his chest development, his forearms, and everything was
huge arms and legs.
I know it.
Too. He's got big, strong
legs. He's completely remade his body in the last 4 or 5 years. But I was talking to Steve and Mike off air, and I've watched interviews with Phil and listened to him because he's so interesting and smart and. I picked up on, long ago that he always had confidence. And I remember about 5 years ago, he said, I think I can play my best golf, or there's no reason I can't keep winning into my 50s. But then he would say why. And, he noted that I'm hitting the ball farther than I've ever hit it. He said my club head speed, which is the big thing with these golfers, it has gone up, big time from when he was younger. He said logically and scientifically, there's no reason I can't compete. Now, you just weren't seeing the results. We saw him in brief spots, when he would lead a round or hit a great shot. So you knew he could still play for short periods of time. But I think he was trying to prove something, and probably the reason he won is he had confidence that he could win. At this age, and heck, who's to say he won't win another one after watching this?
Let me tell you, he plays next week. Can you believe he's going to play next week, Mike?
Yeah,
I love it. You think of the ratings on this golf course tournament.
There's no way he's going to have anything left for that tournament. That's a mistake in my opinion.
But he's already committed.
He's mentally drained.
Michael, he probably didn't think he was going to win. I'm sure he had to commit to this several weeks ago, and he probably didn't. He didn't say that to them.
The U.S. Open's at Torrey Pines, and he's won at Torrey Pines 3 times.
Yeah,
he said after that he was going to go practice Torrey Pines for 2 weeks and get ready for the Open.
Well,
so where he lives.
Yeah.
Well, the U.S. Open is the one major he's never won. So to have the career Grand Slam, he needs to win the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
Winning his 6th major taught him yesterday with Faldo, who was actually calling everything on CBS and Jim Nance. And then Lee Trevino has won 6 majors.
Yeah. And he won PGA at Birmingham at Shoal Creek twice. I know that. I saw him. I was there.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't realize that Trevino won that many majors. I didn't realize he'd won 6. I mean, I did because I followed Mickelson. I knew he was one behind him. But Faldo, Faldo stopped playing golf when he was about 41. 42.
I know it. I always wondered why he did that because he could have, he could have played on the seniors tour and won some money, but they don't win near the money that the PGA does.
He must have lost his game. He knows it, or
he did.
Yeah, Rice, you look like you've had your ears lowered. Have you ever heard that? That's a little
well, you asked what I did this weekend. What do you think I did? I went to see Raymond.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you, thank you, Raymond, for staying open and cutting hair. Raymond normally closes at noon on Saturday. He needs some rest. He needs to go fishing.
Yeah,
but now Jack and I, my 5-year-old, went to see Raymond at about 11:07. We got in there, and it was just Raymond all by himself, and he had about 5 people in front of me. And I said, well, I got to get my hair cut. So I sat in there and chit-chatted and read some newspapers. Raymond finally got to me about 12:30, 12:40, cut my hair, but there were about 5 or 6 people still in there. Raymond wasn't going to leave. He was going to stay until he cut all those people's hair. Matter of fact, right before I left, he got a phone call and somebody said, can you cut my hair? And he said, yeah, come on, I'll be here.
Well, you know what? They were having the junior, senior, and I bet you a lot of these kids were coming down here for the junior, senior to get their hair cut.
Well, I didn't see any teenagers. Yeah. But he did tell me that he opened up at 7 o'clock Saturday morning. He said when he opened the door, he had 4 people waiting for him.
Isn't that great?
So Raymond, who's 76, was cutting hair from 7 o'clock in the morning until after 2 o'clock on Saturday, nonstop.
Raymond, you're another Phil Mickelson. That's how everybody's going to compare what he did, Phil did in this guy match, and they're going to say, gosh, you did another Phil Mickelson.
He cut little jackrabbits hair.
I mean, Raymond's so cheap with a haircut. He used to charge like $10 or $11 a few years ago. What's he charge now?
$10.
Mike, gonna put you on hold, buddy. We're gonna bring him back in a minute. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Who won the PGA yesterday?
I don't know, Will. I heard that you were out shooting skeet.
I watched every second of it. It was unbelievable.
I know it. One of the great.
Yeah, I mean, I told Dad that's got to be one of the greatest sporting events I've ever watched. I mean, I was about to cry at the very end of it.
I was too. I was very humbled about it. It was because he's a genuine guy. He has been, Tiger has made him look our second best all these years. Tiger, competing against Tiger, but. Yesterday he had the spotlight like no other golfer in history had the spotlight. And Will Matthews, tell us your
45 tournaments on the PGA Tour, though.
I know it. You're right.
Yeah, he's won a lot more tournaments than Nick Faldo or Lee Trevino have. And I wonder how many times he's finished second. They probably said it on the telecast. He's got 6 first place in majors, but I guarantee he has at least 8 to 10 runner-ups. So
we'll call him from Dothan this morning, or you calling from Ozark, your office?
I'm in office. Will Mickelson has finished second in the U.S. Open 6 times.
Oh God!
Why now? What was that?
Mickelson has finished second in the U.S. Open. That's the one of the 4 he has not won.
All right, yeah.
6 times.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, majors he's finished second 10 times.
So he's won 6 and finished second 10 times. That's like Jack Nicklaus. Everybody, I think he's won 18 majors, but I think he was second 20 times. I mean, that's just excellence right there.
But You know, Will, you know a lot about golf. Give us your and your analysis. How about that?
Well, the guy's 50 years old and still hits it over 300 yards. That's what's incredible to me.
That's right.
He hit it 366 yards on one shot.
Now, how old are you? You're how old?
I'm 64.
You're 64. Now, how far do you hit it now?
About 220.
About 220. I bet you hit it further than that.
No, I don't.
I mean, Will, you go back a long ways. You played all these golf courses and stuff. I mean, this has got to be the greatest moment in golf history, isn't it?
I'd put it in the top 5.
I don't.
I mean, I know people think Nicklaus winning the Masters at 46 is probably way up there, and then Tiger winning in 2019 was way up there. But
Michael, I don't think you'll ever be able to top Tiger winning the Masters 2 years ago with the competition that was up there at the time. You know, he had Koepka, Molinari, Finau, who's the guy from Ireland, Poulter. I mean, they were all right there, and he beat them all those hundreds.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the only tournament he's ever won, big tournament, major tournament, where he's behind starting the last day.
Yeah.
But I mean, Tiger was 43, 44. I mean, Mickelson has 50, almost 51. Turns 51 2 weeks from now. I just don't see how that could ever be topped.
I think they were.
Only person I think that could beat that record is Mickelson.
Yeah. You know, I don't think Mickelson and Tiger were good friends. I don't think they were. What do you think?
Mm-mm. But I think they've become better friends as they've gotten older.
They were such huge competitors, and they
got close to the Ryder Cup when Tiger was one of the assistant coaches about 3 or 4 years ago. I think, or maybe 6 years ago.
Well,
they've got a relationship now.
And it's just competition. I mean, I don't think anybody really, everybody said, "Oh, I like him. I bet the first person he looks for on the list of winners each week's got to be Phil. and Phil.
Tiger Woods was watching that tournament yesterday.
Oh yeah, no question about it. He enjoyed it, I bet. You had to be if your motor's running at all, and hopefully most of you are. Hey, your motor was running all afternoon watching that golf course.
You know, Mike talks about the greatest accomplishments of all time. I mean, I'm going to come back to just how amazing it was, how close Tom Watson was to doing it at age 59. I mean, good gracious, that would have been the story of all. You talking about a heartbreaking story.
Was that the British Open? Or what?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that well.
I mean,
he made a great shot on the last hole and just rolled off the green.
Yeah, that's right.
10-foot putt to win it. He missed it.
If that shot, he didn't choke. He played it just like he wanted to. It just, for some reason, it just rolled a little far. But absent that shot doing that, he is winning a major champion, the Open, at almost age 60 years old. It just boggles the mind. But he didn't finish it. And you know what else? He would have won that tournament. People forget that Stewart Cink on the last hole, the same hole that Watson bogeyed, Stewart Cink sunk about a 15-foot birdie putt just to get into that playoff. If Stewart Cink had missed that birdie putt.
Did Stewart Cink win that tournament?
Yeah.
That was the U.S. Open? Was that the U.S. Open?
British Open.
British Open, I mean the British Open.
Cink has won twice this year at 48, so that was a good sign for Mickelson as well. A lot of older golfers are winning this year.
That's right.
Stewart Cink is playing arguably the best golf of his life at age 48. Yeah.
Will, give us more about it. Of what you feel like it takes for a guy like that to do it. I mean, I know they've got to have great speed. As far as their swing goes, they got to have a lot of speed right there.
Well, usually when golfers get older, they lose their putt stroke.
Mm-hmm.
and they lose their nerves and their touch around the greens. My God, Mickelson is just phenomenal around the greens.
Did you notice that how he would take his time and breathe? You could tell he was breathing and trying to get his
heart rate down.
Get heart rate. Yeah, we're worried about his heart rate.
He usually high fives fans and just does the thumbs up, of course. But I mean, he usually interacts more. He was way more serious.
I mean, he would breathe. He would take it. He was probably slower than he's ever been. What do you think, Will? He was real slow, I thought.
Deliberate.
Yeah, deliberate.
He was very, very composed.
And
even after he won, he was composed.
The thing they said yesterday was that a left-hander golfer had more of an advantage.
I saw that.
Due to the wind, playing left-handed, he had the way he felt before he was over a ball was different than a right-handed player. What exactly are they talking about there?
Well, Mickelson. One thing about Mickelson, he can shape the ball either way. But his best shot is a left-to-right shot, which is a hook for him. And a right-hander, their best shot is a hook from right to left. And the wind was blowing pretty hard left to right. And so the ball would not go as far for a right-hander. And that's why he hit some of those bomb tee shots. I mean, 18 is 505 yards, and he had a 9-iron to it.
Yeah. They said, the wind, I've never seen a golf tournament, as far as TV and everything, show how the wind was doing, on every shot. They show that which way the wind was going. Mm-hmm. And Mickelson acted like he knew all about the wind. I mean, that he was not very knowledgeable of the wind and what his ball was going to do. And when he hit the real long drive, that more than everybody, he said he knew that if he got it in that area, it would go a long way.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask y'all a question. Phil's brother has been caddying for him since 2017, I learned. But I thought Phil had a brother that was the golf coach at Arizona State. Does he have two brothers?
That's him. That's him. Yeah, he left Arizona State and got on Phil's back. He coached Ron.
Okay.
Ron at Arizona State.
Okay. Well, he's making a lot more money being his brother's caddy.
What is it, 10% or 15%? I don't know what it is.
Hey, Bill, he's John Rahm's agent, too.
Oh, really? The caddy?
Rahm's agent, and he's Phil's caddy.
They act like they were friends.
I read about Phil's victory, and one of the things I learned that Phil's college golf coach has been his longtime manager. So his college golf coach said, "I'm, tying my wagon to Phil Mickelson."
You can tell there's a lot of loyalty.
Steve Lloyd, he hugged Mickelson after. Yeah, he hugged Mickelson after the first guy to hug Mickelson after he won.
All right, do y'all know John Slavy in Montgomery?
Yes, I know him.
I know John.
All right, John was the coach at Huntington back in the late 90s. I was the rules chairman for the National Junior College for 3 years in a row. And it was in Dothan. It was at the St. John's course in Dothan for 3 years. Wallace College was the host team for 3 years. Well, the year before, I went out to Scottsdale for the National Junior College tournament. They had me out there to learn how to set up the rules committee and all that, for the next 3 years. Well, I was out there. John Sadie was out there recruiting. And John says, "Judge, how would you like to play golf with Phil Mickelson?"
Oh, well, come on now.
And I said, "John, you're full of crap." He said, "Well, I'll tell you what. You meet me at 9 o'clock at Greyhawk Country Club. It's in Scottsdale. We're going to play golf with Phil Mickelson." So I thought he was pulling my leg. Well, we go out there, and Phil was probably 24 or 5 years old. He was young. We go out there, and there he is with his girlfriend, who he's now married to, and Billy Mayfair.
I remember you saying that before, yeah.
Billy Mayfair's with him. And we played 18 holes with Phil Mickelson and Billy Mayfair. Well, this is the connection, how he did it. John Sadie played golf at Arkansas University.
That's right.
Okay? Steve Lloyd was the coach for John Slady in college. He also played with John Daly on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Well, he got Lloyd to set it up so we could play golf, and Phil and Mayfair played with us, and it was a sight to see watching them play, man.
Did you actually play the game? Did you play?
Did Nicholson communicate and talk to you much?
Oh yeah, I mean we had a good time.
I mean, you actually played the round with him.
Nicholson was my partner. Mayfair was Slade's partner. Nicholson shot a 67. We beat him like a drum too.
This is Will Matthews from Ozark, Alabama.
Camera phone back there, Will. Will, surely you got a picture of us.
I've got John Slade's girlfriend, now wife. I don't think they were married then. She took pictures of everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I've got pictures in my office of me and Mayfair, but not with Nicholson. The pictures of Nicholson was on another row, and it just come out.
No.
But I've got pictures in my office of Mayfair and me.
You know what? Another, yeah.
But not Nicholson.
You know, a lot of people know this, but Nicholson likes to gamble a little bit, I think.
Yeah, he's got in trouble a little bit. Or used to. I wonder if he still does.
And I've heard that a lot of times when he gambled, he'd give what he won to charity, but.
That's his cover story.
He loves football. But Mickelson loves football, and he loves to talk about it and so forth.
Well, he got in hot water a couple of years ago for possible insider knowledge on stock trades. Some guy who he was involved with that was prosecuted for insider stock trading, but he had also allegedly passed on those tips to Phil Mickelson. Phil ended up paying like $1 million fine, which is probably like a $10 fine for me, but that blew over.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to ask Will some, because he knows the answer to most of this.
Hey,
Will,
I want to get Mike to look something up while Michael, look up Steve Jones and see when Steve Jones won the U.S. Open.
Okay.
Steve Jones.
I remember, yeah. That's about all he ever won.
Yeah.
I remember that too. But Will, explain how fast when these people were putting, how fast the greens were, and how hard it is to get close to the hole.
Well, these greens dried out. I mean, you saw every shot would run after it hit the green. It was, there was no
bite.
I mean, how fast? I mean, if we're out there in the parking lot, is it that fast? It's not that fast, is it?
No, but it's pretty fast.
He won Steve Jones won the U.S. Open in 1996.
All right, in 1996, in May, it was in May, was the National Junior College Tournament in Scottsdale. That's when I played with Nicholson and Mayfair. We got done playing, and I'm sitting in a golf cart next to the putting green. And there's a guy chipping, and he's got his 4 or 5-year-old kid next to the hole, and he's throwing the balls back to him after he chipped. So anyway, I started talking to him. I didn't know who the world he was. Well, guess what? A month later, he won the U.S. Open.
Steve Jones.
And he qualified. He wasn't anything. He had to go qualify two different times just to get into the tournament, and then he won it. It was up in Michigan, and I was in Las Vegas, and watching the tournament, I said, "My God, a month ago I saw this guy."
Yeah.
And he went in the tournament. Well, he gets to the last hole. He's tied with Davis Love. And Davis Love hit like 10 feet from the hole putting for a birdie to win the tournament. And Davis Love 3-putted and gave him the tournament.
Oh my gosh, I forgot that.
Yeah.
That you definitely need to write a book with all your brushes with greatness.
But you've been, I know back then you were around a lot of college golf and pro golf,
golfers,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Nicholson won as an amateur in '91. He won the Tucson Open, and that's what's so incredible. Now he's won. What did they say yesterday? In 4 different decades.
Yep.
Will, did you play in the U.S. Amateur?
One time. I
Where
tried to qualify probably 7 or 8 times, and I got to play in the 76 U.S. Amateur, which was at Aronimink in Philadelphia.
Uh-huh. And what, it was quite an experience?
Well, the first 2 days pro play, I shot like 150. I was like 10 over par. So I thought, well, there's no way I'm going to make it to match play. Well, I tied with 8 other people to get to match play. Okay? So we had an 8-person playoff. They had 4 go-offs and 4 more go-offs. Well, the first 4, we're in the fairway, and the first 4, every one of them bogey. So I'm sitting there, and I've got like maybe 160 to the green, and I'm thinking, well, just hit it on the green, and you'll get the match play. So I ended up making a par, and another guy made a par. The other 2 made a bogey, and they went on. So I was in the field, you know, match play.
Yeah.
Well, I drew the guy that was the medalist. And so I've got no chance. He shot like a 68 and a 69. And I shot like 73, 77, something like that. Anyway, we teed off, and I don't have a chance in the world to beat. So I'm already packed up, ready to go. You know, the guy did not make a par. All the holes we played did not make a par. I beat him 7-6. And he led the field. I mean, he was the medalist, you know.
Yeah.
So then the next round, I played okay, not great. But the guy I played just shot $1 million, and I won again. So now I've won 2 matches, okay? If I win one more match, back then 8 people got to the Masters. Now it's just 2. 8 people back then got to the Masters. And I'm playing a guy from Canada. And I was 3 under par and got beat 2-1.
Golly.
So match play is just...
Or you would have been able to play in the Masters, wouldn't you?
I would have to play the Masters. Now, Cecil Ingram, I don't know if you know Cecil
Yeah,
Ingram.
Hootie Ingram.
Hootie's son.
All right.
He got to play in the Masters.
Yeah.
Well, you not only played in the U.S. Amateur, you did very well at the U.S. Amateur, Will.
It's just bad luck. The guy I played, his name was Gary Cowan.
Yeah, I never heard of him. Yeah.
He was from Canada. But
Well, just getting to match play is good. I mean, how many people would have started, and you made it to the final 32 or something?
I tell you, you've been there, no question about it. We're going to take a
final 16.
Final 16.
We need to go ahead and sell some groceries. We'll be back in just a moment.
When something feels just right, you know it. And at Badcock Home Furniture and More, this Memorial Day, we're here to help you find what fits your life. Find your just right at Badcock's Memorial Day sale. Save up to 50% throughout the store, including Sealy mattress sets. Plus, you can apply, finance, and save in-store and online. For comfort, style, and financing that always fits, it has to be Badcock. Badcock Home Furniture and More. Just right.
This is my chart from Southeast Health.
And you're going to want to make it yours.
Not because it's free,
But because it's priceless.
Because with my chart,
You can schedule appointments online with your provider.
you can email your provider and get answers.
Get test results,
refill prescriptions.
and manage your family's health care.
You know how we all want healthcare to be easier?
But no one seems to listen.
well, someone did. Southeast Health.
To get your free My Chart app,
Visit your app store.
Or go to southeasthealth.org.
Barney, what are you doing?
you've been looking for a sale. I'm going to give you one. We got one open.
Barney, it's not a jail sale. It's called a car sale. You know, 0% financing for 72 months. Discounts over $15,000.
Killing the competition.
$5,000 over Kelly Blue Book for any old trade. Hey, and it's not illegal to kill the
That's
competition.
another charge.
Folks, just go to PremierTroy.com. That's where you'll find all the deals. I'll see you soon.
No, you ain't. You're going to be in jail.
Barney!
Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody!
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
I want to wish Pat out of sister happy birthday. Had a wonderful time this weekend, and I want to mention that this show is brought to you by Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram trucks in Troy, Alabama, and trying to pick up after that.
You got a frog in your throat, huh?
Yeah, sure do.
So, it was Pat from Sister's birthday?
It was Pat's birthday, and she's a wonderful, wonderful person. I'm not going to tell you how old she was. She probably wouldn't even mind. But Pat, they ought to write a book about Pat Rogers. She is one great person.
What about Geraldine?
Same way, both of them. And Geraldine sang, and buddy, she could sing like you would not believe. You would have thought she was a country music star.
Wow.
The way she sang.
Didn't know that.
And
I was looking at Mickelson's all-time wins. He's won 45 all time. But then, if you look, he's won on the European Tour 11. He's won the Asian Tour 1, Sunshine Tour 1, PGA Tour of Australia 1, Challenge Tour 1, PGA Champions 2. I mean, if you count just European Tour and PGA Tour, he won 56 times.
Golly.
Yeah.
Oh, so that how many PGA victories does he have? PGA Tour.
I mean, PGA he has 45, but he's won in Europe 11.
I see.
So in a way, they ought to count that, shouldn't they?
I mean, because he plays all over the world.
Yes. Want to mention Troy Bank and Trust Company, the only bank you'll ever need. Troy Bank and Trust Company with 14 stores to choose from, and we appreciate them very much.
I want Phil Mickelson to come to Troy and develop a golf course somewhere north of Troy, between here and Lockheed Martin or up in that area.
I'll tell you this. Let me tell you a little story. I went down to Brundage this weekend. I want you to hear this, Will. I went down to Brundage Saturday morning. It was early. I was up early and went and got a cup of coffee and rode down there. And Forrest wasn't even there. I couldn't find him, but I rode around on the golf cart, and that is still a beautiful little golf course, Will. Have you played it many times?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's been years, but I have played it a bunch of times.
I tell you what, that shot over that water there, over that little lake there, is still a long ways. And you, of course, you riding your golf cart, you got to understand that it was built in a cow pasture, and it had the ruts on the like any cow pasture would have. But it's still a beautiful little golf course.
Well, I mean, you can play for next to nothing compared to all these other courses.
Hey, Mike, I know I've told y'all this, but when I was at Carroll High, we played Brundage and Dothan High, Carroll High, Enterprise, and Brundage, and Troy. There were 5 teams playing. And I was playing with Ronnie Mobley. And I came in, I shot a 64, and Stephen Skinner said, Will, that might be the greatest round I've ever heard about. I said, yeah, I only got cut by 4 strokes. Mobley shot a 60.
Oh, gosh. Wasn't that unreal?
Yeah.
And Jack Archer probably was representing Troy, wasn't he? He was probably representing Troy, wasn't he?
No, Brundage. He shot.
Oh, I know Mobley was. I know Mobley was.
He could have shot way below that.
Hey, Will, answer this question. A lot of people that were watching golf yesterday maybe didn't understand this. So Mickelson's in the fairway on 13, and he hits his shot, and it rolls onto the green into the water. But he was able to drop on the green. Can you only do that if it rolls into the water? Right. If it went over in the air? If you went over in the air, would there be a drop
Michael, if it went over in the air, he could still drop it at the point where it entered the hazard, 2 club lengths. And if it gets on the green, it gets on the green. It's a break.
It really, that one.
So it doesn't matter if it rolls or in the air goes over the green.
No, it's the point it entered the hazard.
Yeah.
You've got 2 options. You can put it there, or you can go back on the same line, as far as you want to. That's a lateral hazard.
Yeah.
I cannot believe he made that shot. I mean, when that happened on 13, I was like, man, he's got so many more holes to play. This is going to be it.
Yeah.
Well,
he was able to bogey.
I know, but it was a bad break.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in the rough. His drive was in the rough, and he couldn't really control it,
Is that the one that fell off in the water?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that was a key. That was a key
He was in
thing.
the water on 13 back-to-back days.
Well, then he got a bogey on the next hole, which was that tough par 3. So it was looking a little iffy there for a moment. And before that, I think he had a 5-stroke lead at one point.
Yeah.
If Justin Birdie's 18, I mean, Mickelson would at least had to make a putt, even though it probably would have been a tap in.
Yeah.
That would have been a lot more pressure if he'd made that last putt.
Well, I'll tell you this: that trouble he got into with the grass on 17. You remember that? And you look. It's a wonder. Maybe he was 15 feet short, but I think he was just saying, "Thank God I'm out of that," because that was a rough area.
He just wanted to get it on the green out of that lie, and then, just take your bogey and go.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you something. On 18, he made sure he was not going to go in the bunkers to the right side of the fairway.
Yeah.
He just hit it into the crowd. He hit it in the crowd on purpose. Yeah. And listen, the crowd had beat down the rough.
I know. You're right. He did it on purpose. They said that it was planned that they're going to do like that. And he did it, and it worked tremendously. His putter.
When he hit it in that crowd, the fans had to been trampling and stepping on that
that's
ball.
it. Yeah.
Up and down like they were going crazy.
Oh, yeah. He was going to have a good live there, or something he could play.
I tell you what, that was really a.
Can you believe he's going to try to play Colonial this week?
Yeah, he's going to play.
Anything left?
Michael, he's won Colonial twice.
I know. God, don't you think he needs a rep?
No. Hey, he might win.
What golfer is the Colonial? Is it
Ben Hogan?
Ben Hogan, yeah.
5 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember when did Ben Hogan finally stop playing?
Probably in the
70s.
He played up until maybe 72 or 3, probably.
Yeah. You start thinking of
He was in a horrible car accident, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He came back from it and won.
One of these days, I'm gonna get on this show and we're gonna pick a top 10 ever in golf. It would be hard to do, wouldn't it? Man, oh man.
Yeah, it'd be hard. I mean, well, I know who number 1 is, hands down.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's right.
I named my son after him, Jack. Who's better than Jack Nicklaus?
No?
Well, okay.
Who's better than him? Yeah, I knew you'd say Bobby Jones.
For probably about a 5-year period, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But he quit at such a young age, though, Will. Why didn't he keep on playing?
Yeah.
He won the Grand Slam. Why play anymore?
Why didn't he ever play for money, Will? We're going to ask you all these questions.
There wasn't much money to be made playing the pro, but
back then there was not that much money.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you ever see he's done a lot of practice rounds and a lot of.
And Will is best friends with Bobby Jones' grandson, right?
Yeah, that's right. But how many times have you seen a film, featuring Bobby Jones and showing you how to hit a golf ball and everything? And it's the most. It's just very more hands and arms than anything else. Looked like to me.
He did those films after he retired.
Yeah.
And he paid a big to him. But he was a lawyer and an engineer.
Yeah.
And he passed bar exams in Georgia and never went to law school.
Well, was he just rich to begin with, or did he make any? He couldn't make any money playing golf.
He came from a wealthy family.
Yeah.
And he was a lawyer for years and years, and then started Augusta National in the mid-30s.
Did he build Augusta? Did he build it? That's what I heard.
Well, he's technically not the architect, but he had strong influence on it, right?
Alistair McKenzie designed Augusta National, and he also did Cypress Point and several big courses, in the country.
But you know that Bobby Jones had tons of input.
Bobby Jones, this is something nobody knows. I know just because being friends with Bob. Bobby Jones designed one golf course in his life. One.
That was that one in Atlanta or where?
Nope. It was in Highlands, North Carolina. It's the Highlands.
What a beautiful place.
It's the Highlands Country Club in North Carolina, and he had a house up there, and there were no golf courses, so he built a golf course up there, and he designed it. So he could play golf when he was up there.
But now, right there in Atlanta, where they play all the tournaments, he had a lot to do with that golf course, because that's where he's got his museum, isn't it?
He was a member at East Lake.
At East Lake. And
yeah, I went to a wedding there. He has a lot of trophies, a lot of memorabilia.
Oh yeah. No question about it.
Mention Troy softball. They had a tough regional. They played Clemson, and Clemson started with 28-6. They got beat 8-0. But then came back and beat Alabama State, I think 6 or 7 or 8-0.
8-0, Troy beat, yeah.
They played Clemson again and played Clemson, just a great game. Went to 7 innings. The score was tied 1-1. And Clemson unfortunately scores 3 runs. Troy only scored 1 in the 7th and got beat 4-2. But great season for Troy softball. Alabama, of course, destroys Clemson. I don't think Clemson even scored a run against Alabama, and Alabama now advances to the Super Regionals. So looks like they'll probably play in the College World Series again in softball.
Well, I didn't know that it was 1-1 Troy Clemson going into the last inning. I mean, that's pretty strong. Clemson was a great.
Clemson won the ACC in softball too.
Yeah, had a great pitcher and everything. Alabama outscored everybody in the tournament 20-0. Alabama's got a pretty good softball team. It's going to be now also starting.
We got the SEC tournament starting this week. Alabama is, I think, the 10th seed. Auburn's the 12th seed. Troy is the 3rd seed in the East in the Sun Belt tournament that will be played in Montgomery starting on Tuesday. Troy lost 3 out of their last 4 in conference and really hurt them. They were a number 2 seed. And then fell to number 3 because they lost their last 2 against Lafayette. Both close games, they only lost by 1 run each game. But Troy was playing great baseball. I don't know, after losing 3 out of their last 4, if that's going to continue or not.
All right, when will Troy play, Mike? Do you have an idea?
I think they're playing Tuesday night.
Tuesday night, which should be a big game and a lot of people there, I would like to see it. It'd be a great game.
Oh, what a great trip. Go up and see the Trojans play in the tournament.
Exactly right. And
where the stakes couldn't be higher.
Minor league ballpark, can't beat that.
Yeah, and go out and have some dinner and a drink before or after the game.
Dad, you can definitely go to this game. It's going to be at 12:30 on Tuesday. You can come back and go to the beach later that afternoon.
Mike could. And let me tell you this. How about the barbecue place? Is Dreamland open
they
downtown?
Closed. I think they closed.
What do you?
They closed it down. Yeah, the one downtown.
Oh, that's sad. That is so sad. And with all these tournaments there, it would have been great that it would be open.
I think they left open the possibility they could reopen in the future, but it's a COVID casualty. There's just tens of thousands of these businesses.
Right now, Montgomery's sort of lacking a little bit on the barbecue. They got a full moon, don't they? Montgomery has.
I don't know if they got a full moon. I don't know where that would be. I mean, they still got all the. You still go to Martin. Why don't you just go to Martin?
Ladies and gentlemen, I ate at the greatest buffet of them all is up in.
Red Schoolhouse?
Yeah, I ate there yesterday. Oh, They had butter beans and fresh corn, and I ate the best fried chicken. I had two. I couldn't eat it all. I had a bunch of delicious cornbread and ham, and I had just a tremendous meal.
They have a lot of customers?
Potato salad and tomatoes. Oh yeah, they had a lot of customers. And enjoying some wonderful food.
They have my favorite rice and milk gravy.
Yep, they sure did. They sure did. They had it all yesterday. They had it all. They didn't have the fresh peas, but they will. But see, it's not time for them. You know, I was thinking that surely they'd have fresh peas, but it's just the middle of May. You know, those peas ain't had time to grow.
I love Sisters Buffet, and I love Sisters, but man, Red Schoolhouse
it is fabulous. You got that fried cornbread, and if you wanted to, you could have got the best piece of pecan pie you'll eat anywhere. I tell you.
Better than Forest Lee's?
Hey, I hate to say that, Farley. I don't know where's old Farley. Old Farley, I think, forgot us lately, right?
Forest Lee's pecan pie is pretty high up there.
It is good now.
What tournament Brundage yesterday?
Yeah, the tournament yesterday, I didn't hear the finalists on it, but I did ride around with them, and I saw a couple of good guys. I noticed Mike Brantley's head football coach was there. And, I asked him, I said, "Where's Boo Weekley?" And he said he was at home nursing an injury.
So Brantley's head football coach is buddies with Boo Weekley?
Oh, the best friends. They're best friends. Boo Weekley and Coach. Yeah, Mike, what'd you say?
I was saying Auburn and Alabama are still in the running for T.J. Stanley, the LSU transfer quarterback. 6'6", 240 pounds. I am shocked that Alabama's going out.
I am. I noticed that.
Want some competition for Bo Nix, but man, I didn't think Alabama would go after it.
But you know what? That's what I noticed today. That surprised me too.
You know what? They're saying if you get a chance to get a good quarterback, you take it, and then you let them have competition and work it out. Yeah.
But let me ask you this. All right, that's a good question. Now, let's pick well, first of all, we can't believe he left LSU. He helped LSU, but Auburn and Alabama, and I mean there's a few others, but from I would think, who would you think would need him the most?
Auburn, he'd be definitely number 2 at Auburn. At Alabama, he might be number 3.
But Nix is not going to come out of the game.
Nix is going to be a junior. Alabama's projected starter is going to be a sophomore.
See, this is making me think they have no confidence in Paul Tyson.
Me too.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And he might be telling him that too. And of course, this kid right now, the quarterback now, it's hard to believe that he can come in and dominate like Jones did.
Mac Jones, I still think we take him for granted. Everybody just thinks, he had all these great players around him. Of course, he's going to put up these great numbers, but I just don't think it's as easy as he made it look.
Mike, before we get away from this, I wanted to tell you about Brantley. Won the state championship. Or is that right? They win it, or they won the
girls won. The girls won it.
Yeah, the girls won the state championship.
Softball, yeah.
And the girl that got all the big hits is going to Troy. So we're excited about that.
Big article today. I know Dad used to go there and referee a lot of games, and big article on AL.com about Judson College is closing its doors and shutting down. Founded in 1838. Does that surprise you, Rice, that a college like Judson would be closing its doors?
Baptist Girls College.
No, matter of fact, I think sadly there's going to be a lot more stories like this, especially the little private colleges. It's just tuition is so high, and it was just hanging on
the
for a
Marion
long
Institute
time.
was located right next to them, and they used to say, well, the only reason these kids are going to come here is because of Judson, the girls' school, which is across the street. But now they don't have that. Boy, that's a pretty rough place to be at Marion now. Wouldn't you say, Rice?
Yeah, they used to. be one of my advertising customers, and I got a good tour of it. I was impressed. This was 15 years ago.
I got to run. Y'all have a good day.
Hey, we enjoyed your comments, Will, and we hope you call us tomorrow here. Thank you. Right. Bye-bye. Will Matthews calling.
Who has played golf with Phil Mickelson.
And let me tell you.
Will Matthews has got to have a book written about him.
He really does, yeah.
Pictures in this book of all the people he played with would be unbelievable.
The only sad thing is he didn't have a picture of.
Said the film didn't develop.
He said it didn't.
Billy Mayfair didn't have near the career.
I know, but I remember Billy Mayfair. Yeah, exactly.
Well, John Sadie is a great guy. I'm not surprised that Will knows him. I got to know him a little bit in Montgomery, but I knew that he was a college teammate of John Daly. John Sadie was a great golfer in his day.
Oh, yeah, real good.
Right, you know a lot about movies. So in Forrest Gump, Jenny is at Judson College when he goes to visit. Is that correct?
Why, damn right.
No, and I've never heard that. I mean,
he was at an all-girls school, I thought. When Forrest went to go see her in college, I thought some of Forrest Gump was shot at Judson College.
It might have been. I don't know. It might have been.
I don't think he was at Alabama. I don't think.
No.
He was at an all-girls school.
That's right, but it doesn't specify what college it meant. Now, maybe Winston Groom, the author of the book, patterned it after Judson College. That's,
Yeah, I met Winston Groom in Tuscaloosa one day. I actually signed an autographed copy of his book for me.
He just passed away in the last year. He was a fraternity brother of Mr. Hendricks, Ken Hendricks at Alabama.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Huh.
I have not watched Forrest Gump in many a year. I'll have to go back and watch that one more time.
Here's what Forrest Gump is a great movie.
I think it is too.
It was made released in 1994. That was an awesome year for movies. Here's 3 of my all-time favorite movies came out in the same year. They were all Best Picture nominees. Forrest Gump, Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino's masterpiece, and The Shawshank Redemption, which has grown on everybody through time.
I've seen.
I mean, it got very little attention when it was at the theaters. It was nominated for Best Picture, but now it's a lot of people's favorite movie. But all 3 of those movies are really iconic, and they all came out in the same year.
I watched that movie several times, 10 times at least.
You know what it was based on? A Stephen King novella. A novella is a very short novel, somewhere between a short story and a novel. But people think of Stephen King and they think of what monsters and witches and zombies, and people with telekinetic powers. But he's written a lot of books that don't fit that genre at all, and I mean
it's amazing.
That is the best adaptation of a Stephen King work, because actually I've read the novella, of course.
Yeah.
And the movie is better than Stephen King's book.
Well, some people don't like this movie, but because there's so much killing in it. There's a lot of killing in it, but the one with
John Travolta, it saved John Travolta's career.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction did.
Well, I don't even know.
John Travolta was pretty much dead as an actor.
That's right.
He came out and did a film that nobody ever would expect somebody like John Travolta to be so good in.
Mm-hmm.
I watched one this weekend that turned the
Tarantino.
That he did, and it was with the oh shoot.
You watched one with Brad Pitt?
No, it was about the
Hollywood.
No, this was one.
I still haven't seen that.
This is one where he blew up the old Southern plantation as a.
You watched Django Unchained.
And let me tell you, I'll tell you this, that was a good movie right there. It was good.
All of Tarantino's movies are good.
All his movies are good. Yeah, he's an interesting director to say the least.
Yeah.
He believes.
You gotta watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I've been looking for
I've seen it.
I want to see it because I'm a huge fan of Tarantino. But you know what he does? He does long scenes and he trusts his dialogue. But he has great dialogue and clever dialogue, but the scenes go on much longer than typical scenes in a movie.
But that's amazing.
Movies as we are now changed forever. I mean, I guess eventually you'll see the movie theater come back.
Yeah.
I mean, but you can just turn up and hit a button on your television and watch all the new movies now.
Yeah, but
you don't have to go.
Yeah.
That's true, but you don't get the big screen effect. I like seeing a good movie on the widescreen with the surround sound, but you might be. I mean, part of it is economics. It's so expensive, and people are trying to save money, and they're not going to go see as many movies.
Okay, thank you so much. And of course, this show is brought to you again by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks located on the bypass right here in Troy, and they got a super sale going on right now. Remember, Premier will beat anybody's price. I'm talking about anybody's price, and anybody's deal. They're the ones to go to on the bypass in Troy.
We still got 5 minutes, man.
Well, I know it. We're still talking, and we want to mention also our good friends at Bird Drugs on the square in downtown Troy. I can smell that bacon being cooked right now. We might want to run down there and see what's going on, but we appreciate them.
On Sunday morning, I fixed breakfast for the whole family. Speaking of bacon, and man, I went all out. I had bacon, sausage, scrambled eggs, cheese toast, and we had some kind of blueberry biscuits.
Which ones what kind of sausage?
It was just some Hillsborough or Hillsdale.
Yeah. It was link sausage?
No, patty sausage.
Oh, okay.
And then bacon. It was a spread, but then my kids don't eat as much as I think, and so the food won't go to waste. Who do you think eats all the leftovers?
You.
So I had about 6 pieces of bacon, 2 pieces of sausage, 2 pieces of cheese toast, some of those biscuits.
Yeah. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, my good friend. And of course, we're so pleased to represent the Wiley Sanders truck lines, the great truck lines you'll find anywhere. Looking for a career, no better place to go than Wiley Sanders truck lines in Troy, Alabama. And my brother is here today, and we're going to be bringing you.
I got
Wiley
a marketing
Sanders.
idea for him, but I'm not going to outline it. Mike knows what it is, but I'm going to keep it under my hat.
Well, we appreciate it, and of course, we appreciate.
I saw where Halsteady and thank you, Sarah, and some of those guys are doing a lot of work in the Miracle League fields. Kelly Sanders is involved, and they've got teams and stuff like that. And that's a great thing they're doing at Wally Sanders Truck Lines. They do a lot of stuff for the community, and Stephen Sanders has done a great job. And of course, we still got our great friend Kenny Campbell out there involved as well.
I tell you what, you're right. You're exactly right.
I love looking at Dan Smith's photos on his Facebook site. You know, he's our recreation department director, but he's still one of the best photographers in America, and he's posted a lot of the Miracle League athletes at some of those
that's
games.
Great, yeah, that's great.
Fantastic.
What they do. And Troy is very fortunate to have that.
You feel real old if you're on Facebook and you see all these people you grew up with, kids graduating, going to their senior prom.
Yeah.
It's like, my God, am I really this old?
Congratulations to Troy.
All these kids are growing up so much.
Yeah. Charles Simpson High School had their prom this weekend, and I've never seen so many people in downtown Troy. I mean, it was packed. They were using the warehouse over there, the formerly Wood Furniture Company. And of course, again, we want to thank our folks at First Citizens Bank in Luverne, one of the great local banks in America. And of course, want to mention again our good friends at Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks. And they, like we said, they've got Jason's got a big sale going on right now. And Hoss Daddy, my good friend at Troy, and of course he's been around a long time, and of course we appreciate what he does for the community.
I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and tell anybody coming down to the beach, y'all might want to go and hit the grocery store before you get here, because we are getting hit by thousands and thousands of people, and they're having a hard time stocking up these Publixes down here.
You know,
my goodness, I cannot get over how many people are down here right now.
My wife is thinking about going to the beach since school's getting ready to be out, and she checked some prices for condos at Fort Morgan, Dolphin Island, and some other places, and I said, ooh, let's skip going to the beach. So these people that are renting their condos or houses are doing very well too.
Yeah, I mean it literally spring break went right into summer.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, all right, we've got it, Mike. Thank you so much for being with us. And of course, now, ladies and gentlemen, Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, and we appreciate them very much for being a part of our show. And now, welcome to their show.